All right, hi Aquarius. So I pulled some cards for you. The first one we pulled is the Sun card. So this is from the Sacred Web Sun card. Okay. And then on the bottom we have the Six of Earth. Six of Earth. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So in the last few readings, minus Sagittarius, this energy has been coming through, but the card has not come out, and it's come out in your reading. So we have the Knight of Swords, the zombie, and fungus. I have been talking about this energy in Scorpio reading, I believe in the Libra reading, and in the collective message, one of the collective messages, without this card having come through. And here it is. So, and then also one of your messages is zombie right here. So we're going to see what this is all about. It feels intense already with the zombie stuff. Okay, and then on the bottom of the deck, we have Seven of Swords, Amethyst, Deceiver, which is interesting because Amethyst is ruled by, it's a February energy. So most commonly, with Aquarius energy, so it's almost like this, this Amethyst Deceiver. Seven of Swords represents Moon in Aquarius. So we're going to see what that is about. Kind of feels ominous in a way. Okay. Then for your messages, we have the number 31, Marilyn Manson, and I'm not sure what curse words I can say, so I'm just going to say surprise mother effer. Passenger 57, zombie, sitting right underneath the zombie ant fungus, 2013, Papa Legba, Mario Kart, Carnival, which also came through for a collective reading. I believe it was a different one though. Responsibility, and Words Deeply Spoken, which just came out for the Sagittarius reading, but we didn't get any of this zombie stuff in the Sagittarius reading. But the Words Deeply Spoken message came out for Sagittarius. So let's figure out what this is about. Let's first start with the Sun card. So the Sun card represents enlightenment, things being seen clearly. This Deceiver energy isn't going to be in this Deceiver energy very much longer. The sun shines light onto that stuff that is hidden, being deceptive. This crappy energy that I've been talking about in 3 readings, something trying to inhabit a host, act like something else. It's gross energy. So anyways, okay, so we have this Sun energy, which is quite a beautiful little sun card. It's a mama bird feeding her little babies on a nest. And we have this lotus energy. So she's made a nest on top of a lotus. But interestingly, I believe it was in the collective message, we had a bird energy that had these roots. It was from the same deck, but she's not sitting on anything. But she has these things coming out, but that was the zombie energy. It specifically was talking about that being the zombie energy, but here we no longer have the zombie energy. We have a beautiful lotus. This is the true energy. This is life. Solar energy. That is what you're looking for. That is what I was talking about. This zombie energy acts like an artificial sun. It's trying to act like this, but this is true sunlight, true warmth. That is the real thing. That's not the fungus. That's actually the roots of a lotus. So, anyways, just amazing how these things come out sometimes. Okay, so that's clarifying this Six of Pentacles energy. Six of Pentacles. It always is like service, giving something that's needed, being called upon. So this is like a minor version of the Hierophant energy, which the Hierophant energy, it speaks when it's called upon. It shares its knowledge when it's called upon. But this is in the suit of Pentacles. So this could very much be like about resources, money, whatever this represents to you. And in that collective reading with the zombie stuff, the red energy was actually on the body of the bird, and it represented knowledge, healthy knowledge, a healthy truth. But we'll see if that is the same thing here. We'll see. But I just wanted to just bring that up. Okay, so the Sun card, clarifying the Six of Pentacles. Service, truth, light, true light. It's an actual solar energy, the true sun, the true warmth, the true heat, not this artificial zombie inhabiting a cold host, acting alive and like a sun. Okay, I keep like, I want to get into this, but it just like, it's so gross to me. It is disturbingly gross. Like, it's nightmarish to me. Like something, a parasite inhabiting a dead or dying host, trying to act like it or move like it. That's what this parasite does. It inhabits like a host. Ugh. We were talking about like, in that collective reading where this energy kind of came through about parasites like in the gut, and these super soldiers inside your gut know when there's this gross energy coming in, and they know how to fight it off. I just said find it. Yeah. Find it and fight it off. They know how to cleanse it. Cleansing, it was about cleansing your gut instincts. Yeah. Okay. What is this about? Seven of Swords, the Amethyst Deceiver. Seven of Swords. So this can be like a couple different things. So Seven of Swords in like a typical tarot deck and traditional tarot is a man going into the enemy camp and stealing their swords. And you could either say he was trying to steal them to prevent war, or steal them to make it easier for the kill, so to speak. So, Seven of Swords, it's very strategic. Moon and Aquarius. Very strategic. I'm drawn to this Amethyst Deceiver though, because Amethyst, like I already said, is very much connected to like Aquarian energy and the month of February. Amethyst Deceiver. And the crown chakra. We're going to come back around to that. I'm not going to just assume anything. We're going to come back around. Okay. Then we have the number 31. So whenever we have numbers here, I normally say to look out for that. That can be like a synchronicity that might be important for you. either already or going forward within like the next week or so. To look out for the number 31, or it could represent a year in your life, someone who is 31, the 30th, 31st of a month, which is interesting because February doesn't have 31 days. January does. Okay. Or even 1931. This could be like representing like an old or older person. You know, whatever it is for you. Okay, then we have Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson. So, obviously he's a musician. I feel like most people know who Marilyn Manson is, you know, and depending on, you know, who you are, you either like him or you don't like him. He challenges the status quo. That was kind of like his whole point. Like in the 90s, was challenging the status quo. And a lot of people put a lot on him, saying that he was the reason why kids were doing all this like bad stuff, and, you know, and that could be partially true. I'm not going to say anything isn't true, but that's also, he was challenging. He was basically, and he was very, very intelligent. I think it was the Oprah show where she interviewed him, and I think she was shocked by how intelligent he was. Anyone that talks to him is like shocked by his intelligence, because they see like this, you could even say like this, like a clown energy. Like he's, because we have carnival here, like this energy, he's shocking to normalcy, or what people have created as being like normal, especially in the 90s. Yeah. So he can be like a shock to the system, like how his appearance. And he's like one of those people where people judge. Again, a very good example of like judging a book by its cover. And then once you listen to him and understand his intelligence, and you're like, oh my God, like he is smart. Like this surprise mother effer, like surprise, like whatever you were projecting onto me isn't true. Just because you decided to judge a book by its cover. So that could be something that's happening in your life right now. Maybe someone's projecting something onto you, or maybe this is something that you might have done to someone else potentially. Something seems to be like clearing. Something is coming out. Something is being revealed. We have the sun here. Yeah, something is shining. Clarity. Knowledge. Being drawn to this red energy on the head of this jaguar. Knowledge. The apple. That came through in the Libra reading, that red energy as the apple. An apple of knowledge. Apple of truth. Okay. Then we have this movie, Passenger 57. So I've never seen this movie, but I've seen quite a few clips of it. And it's kind of about like, it's taking place on, for the majority of the movie, on a plane. And there's a criminal on board. And also a police officer. And so something happens. I don't see exactly what broke out and how it happened, but there's like chaos on the plane, and because the criminal escaped, and he's trying to find the criminal. I believe the cop is passenger 57. He's not the cop that was transporting the criminal. He was just, I believe, on flight to somewhere else, and he just so happened to be on board. You know, like a good movie, so happened to be on board. So passenger 57 is like a cop trying to calm chaos, bringing clarity to chaos, potentially. Okay, then we have zombie sitting right next to it. So you have passenger 57, the cop, then you have the zombie next to it, which I'm going to almost equate to this like criminal energy getting loose, since it's right underneath this zombie fungus. Yeah. Zombie. Something that's dead, acting alive. Something parasitic, artificial. Something not being its true nature. This is true nature. That is a real sun. You can like say like your solar energy, like Aquarius sun, or if you're like a Cancer sun, that being your solar energy, your warmth. Yeah. It's not projected like an ascendant energy. It's your true nature. It's your solar energy, your life force. So with this zombie energy, and in that reading, it was coming across as an artificial sun, something trying to act like this, but it's really a parasite inhabiting a host. That was what the collective reading was about. We're going to keep digging here. But like these alignments are very clear. I'm seeing them in your reading right here. Okay, so 2013. This came through in a reading a couple weeks ago. And like I said, whenever I have numbers or even years, I'm going to ask you to look out for that. Or maybe it's something important for you. Like the year 2013. Maybe something happened in this year that you need to pay attention to. I was 23 that year. So even like maybe something when you were 23. I also worked in a pharmacy that year. And that came through in that other reading about finding your medicine. So we'll keep going, but like that was pretty much the only messages that came through, other than it being something important for you. Okay. Then we have this Papa Legba energy, which I feel depending upon who you are, you're either going to like this energy or, let me say it like this. Because of like how certain movies have created the Papa Legba energy, it's portrayed in a not so good way. Like in the frog, the princess and the frog. Wait, the frog and the princess? You know what I'm talking about. Papa Legba was like an evil spirit. He was not a good guy. But how I learned about Papa Legba was because this energy kept coming into my life in a very fatherly way, in a very gentle, like an old wise man way. And I grew to like it. I actually have a Papa Legba photo here in my room of the feminine, like a feminine version of Papa Legba. And like it's just energy that it's protective, in my opinion. To me, it's just like Baba Yaga energy, where it's like shadow energy. And these energies can almost be portrayed as like dangerous. But I believe, at least in my own personal life, when energy comes to you and seeks you out, it's coming in a benevolent way. It's there to help you. And Papa Legba is like that old wise man, in my opinion. It's like that magical medicine, like but shadow work, like in the shadow realms. And it actually was coming through. I forgot what deck this is, but it was coming through in a certain deck as the strength card. Leo energy. Beautiful energy. Like, so I guess like it's just about like how you perceive this energy to be. But just because I'm the reader, I'm kind of seen as like a guardian a shadow guardian, something helping you in some kind of like, with some kind of like shadow work, coming to you, seeking you out. Yeah. Okay, then we have this Mario Kart. So Mario Kart is just like about racing, trying to knock your opponent out to get farther. I also have this really funny story. I don't know if it's important here. If it's important, I'll come back around to it about Mario Kart. But yeah, it's just like about racing and trying to knock your partner out, or your the different people that you're racing against. Okay, then we have Carnival. So in the collective reading, I was talking about Carnival. It was about a dream clown going towards a carnival. Literally, those were the two things that popped out. A dream clown going towards a carnival. Trying new things out, stepping into a new experience. We were talking about like roller coasters, like going on YouTube and getting in the POV of a roller coaster and like just kind of like walking around with like people riding the roller coaster virtually, kind of like just experiencing new things, stepping into new experiences, trying new things on, like even dress up, like different things. Okay, then we have responsibility. So responsibility is when you have like a duty to something. You have the responsibility to fulfill something. Accountable to something. Being accountable is responsible. Fulfilling something, like an oath. That came through in a different reading. I believe Aries reading. Fulfilling an oath. Responsibility. Okay. Then we have words deeply spoken. So this is from a poem of mine, and it literally just came out in the Sagittarius reading that I did a couple hours ago. I was gonna say theirs was about opening up and knowing when to speak, when to open up, when to give something. I'm like, just because I see this zombie parasite energy here, I'm like, I feel like I don't want to advise that. We're gonna keep looking at that, but ugh, this like parasitic energy here next to this deceptive energy, which it might not be deceptive. We're going to keep looking at that. But just because the Seven of Swords in traditional decks is about strategy, taking something away from the other side. Yeah. Huh. Because we do have this lotus here, which is about opening up, but it looks like something that has already opened. Because now we have this beautiful, this bird, this mama bird, already has her nest and her babies on this open flower. So this, it seems like this has already happened. Words deeply spoken. It's already happened. This nest has been built. The eggs have been laid. I wanted to say the legs have been laid, which is, I'm thinking about this legba energy now. The legba has been laid. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're gonna keep going. Anyways, so this flower has already opened and something has already been created. This is true energy. This is like the real sun, okay? So real words have been spoken, real things have come of the real words being spoken. oh, have come from the real words being spoken. This can be someone giving someone something else. Literally the transfer of something from one hand to another. Could be about these words deeply spoken. The transfer of words to another has created the sun energy, because technically these two are sitting together. Yeah, this is beautiful energy. What's going on over here is gross. I don't know what this is. That's what we need to look at. Zombie ant fungus. Parasitic energy trying to be a solar energy, but it's not. It's a parasite trying to inhabit a host. It sounds like projection. Trying to be something that you're not, or something or someone trying to be something that they're not. And the collective reading, it was about almost something trying to infest, like false knowledge trying to infest true knowledge. And I was giving that Shrek example because the donkey came through, about how that woman that had donkey sold him for money, and then he, however it happened, he ran away and found Shrek. But it's like that woman coming back and saying, oh, I didn't try to sell you for money, that really didn't happen, and trying to distort the roots, that parasitic energy of the story, trying to infest the actual truth with a made-up truth, a false lie that serves only that energy. For whatever reason that it's doing it. And you can say in Donkey's story, she, like, you know, well, we're not going to get into that because we're just gonna, yeah. Okay, so this, like, parasitic energy and Moon in Aquarius is very much about knowledge and strategy. This amethyst deceiver. What is all that below it? What is that? It looks like a cloud of wind. Hair. And what are those behind it? What are all those little yellow ones? Oh, I meant to read. I have it saved and everything. Okay. I meant to read the actual, they're very short definitions here. I saved them. Okay. Let's do that. Where is it? Right here. Okay. Okay. This is the Amethyst Deceiver. Beautiful but deceptive, like the Seven of Swords theme. The Amethyst Deceiver mushroom by itself is an edible fungus. However, it readily absorbs poisonous arsenic from the surrounding soil. Okay, so I literally just was watching a video a couple days ago about Florida, all those tests being done on all that candy and finding high levels of arsenic. All those high levels of arsenic compounding in the body from candy, Jolly Ranchers, Nerds, and all of that. It is a creepy thing. That pisses me off, and it's making me irritated because it's like this corrupt energy knowing what it's doing and still doing it, putting arsenic in the food, knowing that kids, everyone is eating this. I'm not going to go down that path, but that pisses me off. And just because the arsenic thing just came through. Anyways, so wait, let me focus in because I completely focused in on the arsenic thing. Okay, It's an edible mushroom by itself. However, it readily absorbs poisonous arsenic from the surrounding soil. So if there's arsenic in the surrounding soil, I guess that means it makes it less edible. You could almost talk about the gut from the collective reading. The gut having parasitic energy inside of it, arsenic inside of it, cleansing that shit out. If you haven't watched that, it's going to piss you off. Like, believe me. Like, just like stuff we already intuitively know is going on, just seeing the actual truth of it, this sun energy, like seeing the truth of it in the light, we know what's going on, and now there's evidence clearly shining on it. This passenger 57, this cop has come to town, showing us where all this zombie energy is that's trying to, like, that's been poisoning us, corruption, because of money, obviously. Okay. So, amethyst deceiver. Is something absorbing something that's poisonous? Now it reminds me of, who is that? Not Shiva. Oh, what's the other guy? He's one of the Trinity of gods in, oh gosh, what is it called? I forgot his name, but he drinks the poison in order to make medicine from it. Which reminds me of snake energy. Oh, I'm wearing my snakes. Reminds me of snake energy, where you transmute the venom into medicine. So one is poisonous and can kill you, and the other actually helps heal you. That's why it's a symbol of our medical system. And so it's almost like creating maybe medicine from something, drinking the poison to create the medicine, transmuting the venom into something that can heal. Why is it called amethyst deceiver though? Maybe it appears to be something else. Maybe it's been projected on as something else, as Marilyn Manson energy. Maybe that is interesting. Okay. Projection. Here's the truth right here. There's the truth. Is this a projection? Okay, but why is this zombie energy here? Cleansing this zombie energy out, like cleansing out bacteria, bad bacteria in a gut with the super soldiers, with the healthy energy. That came through in a different reading, like the best way to, well, it's not the best way, but you know, like metaphorically, to clean out a cup of water, a dirty cup of water, is by pouring more and more fresh water into it. And eventually the dirty water plunges itself out. Maybe that might be helpful with this parasitic energy, like a detox, a cleansing of some sort, wherever that is in your life. That's like metaphorical, with people, ideas, knowledge, since we have this like red energy here, which has represented knowledge in several readings. Could even be beliefs. Yeah, I just don't like this. Yeah. Anyways, I was focused in on like what all that yellow energy is around it. But it was saying like it was absorbing arsenic from its surroundings. It's edible unless there's arsenic in its surrounding environment, something poisonous in the surrounding environment in which you don't want to eat it. But how would you know? What is this white thing representing? What are those yellow mushrooms? I feel like one of them is representing arsenic in some way. I want to say the yellow ones because it's reminding me of the candy thing. And this white energy cleansing, like the water plunging out the crappy energy, cleansing it, making it edible. Yeah, I don't know what else this 31 means, so that's going to be something for you guys. Then Marilyn Manson, don't judge a book by its cover. And interestingly, in the Scorpio reading, we had Ronnie Radke come out. And we have Marilyn Manson here. And they were just both in a song together that was out last year, God is a Weapon. I love that song. Check that out. God is a Weapon by Falling in Reverse, featuring Marilyn Manson. Yeah, and then Surprise MFer. Like, I'm not what you thought I was. It's sitting right underneath the sun energy. Like, here's the truth. Like, surprise MFer. This is the truth. It just reminds me of Marilyn on the Oprah show. Like, when everyone's waiting to just project and like put all their gross energy onto him, and they still do. But then he like just blows them away with his intelligence. Every time he has like an interview, it's like everyone is like shocked. Just like something, whatever this zombie fungus thing is, it's disturbing. It's gross. And this energy, you could say, is almost like drinking the poison to turn it into medicine, potentially. Like, I cannot think of his name right now, but he's in the Trinity of Gods, believe in India, within the Indian, India. Am I saying that right? With Shiva. He drinks the poison in order to transmute it. I don't want to say like eating the parasite in order to transmute it, but it could be about something like that. I would say you wouldn't want that anywhere near your body, but you wouldn't want poison anywhere near your body, the arsenic anywhere near your body. Seeing it, maybe ingesting it, the knowledge of something, like that story. Being enlightened to what's going on. You know what's happening intuitively, whether you try to deceive yourself or not, you know what's going on. Then we have the science to back it up, and it's just like, yeah, of course it's happening. Of course it's being covered up. Like, why isn't this being talked about? Why wasn't it being talked about? Why at 2025, 2026 are we finally like talking about this? Like that kind of thing. Passenger 57 just reminds me of the cop finding the criminal. I believe he kills the criminal, right? Or does he just capture him? Anyways, it's right next to this zombie energy. So it's like the cop successfully catches the zombie, brings clarity, saves the people from this zombie energy, from what's poisoning it. Then 2013, like I said, just look out for that, explore that in your own life. Papa Legba, a hidden, probably or maybe it's not so hidden, but like, it's like shadow work. It's energy that's helping you in the shadows. It's presented itself to you as help. It's a justice energy. Fatherly. It's come out as the Strength card within another deck representing Leo energy, which the sun is ruled by Leo. And then Mario Kart. I'm gonna go ahead and tell the story because I don't see why else it would be here. So back when I was like 20 or 21, this was during my first atheist stage, and I was friends with a girl that was also atheist, and we were playing Mario Kart, and she was so far behind. I was actually in first place, and we were playing on Rainbow Road, and she was so far behind, like there was no hope for her. And she was telling me that she believed that there was some kind of hack where if you jump, you can land like towards the finish line. But she was sitting there like, anyways, it was like, I thought she was joking. And I was just like, obviously continuing with the race. And she kept backing up, and she was doing this over and over again. And it was like the final race, I believe. Yeah, the final race. Okay. And she backed up for that final time and then jumped, and all of a sudden landed right in front of me at the finish line and went through as the first place. But she said, she made a comment before this happened. She said, if I win or if this works, God is real. If I win, God is real. It was something like that. And then it happened, like literally like this. If I win, God is real. And then it happens. And then she came into first place right in front of me. And I had been racing the whole time. And we just both sat there like, what just happened? Like, we're 20, 21. And we're just like sitting there. Both of us are atheists at this time in our life. And she's like, so God's real, like, to me. And I'm just sitting here like, but she's just like, God's real. God is real. And so anyways, that was a funny thing. I don't know why else that would be here other than for me to tell that story. But yeah, like this carnival energy, like this odd energy, like something just bizarre. Rainbow Road is like a bizarre level in Mario Kart. It's on the N64 version of Mario Kart. Okay. So yeah, carnival, stepping into a new experience, trying new things on. Yeah, in the collective reading, it was about playing dress up, like doing something new, something different. Not this energy, knowing very well who you are, not having to pretend to be anything different. And it's okay to explore your personality in playing like dress up. That's not being something that you're not, and that is okay. Like, you can try different things on. You can wear a fake nose ring and just see what you like. Like, discover yourself. You don't have to pretend to be anything, but you can be discovering. You can discover whatever you want to about yourself. Okay, and then responsibility. Like having a responsibility. You could say even to yourself, to be like, to fully discover the truth of who you are. Your true nature. Your true nature. Responsibility to people. You could even say this is a responsibility. It's the minor version of the Hierophant, which the Hierophant has a responsibility to share its knowledge when it's called upon. And this is almost like, since it's pentacle energy, it's earth energy, it could be about like resources, like what you have that can help another. Responsibility to pay it forward, a responsibility to share what you have when you're called upon. But obviously be discerning, like, don't just like give your money or your resources to things that are going to take it and siphon it. Be aware of what is this energy and what is this energy? Yeah. What is an artificial sun trying to pretend to be a warm host and the actual warm host and the actual sun? Okay, we're already at 45 minutes. These readings seem like they're just getting longer. I'm sorry about that if you guys like shorter readings, but okay. Then words deeply spoken, just sharing your truth. Like not being afraid of speaking your truth, not being afraid to upset people. Like, and I feel like if there's any energy that knows that more than anyone else, it's Aquarius energy. I feel like I'm an Aquarius sun. I just feel like I've just gone through life just like knowing people are not going to understand me, like when I'm speaking my truth. And I actually hid myself for a long time due to other factors, but I was still very much like odd and eccentric, but I knew that I loved the intelligence that I held. I never once regretted being who I was. I was just like sad at that I wasn't more than like what I wanted to be. Or wasn't able to do certain things in my life. But I never once regretted who I was, like the intelligence, my mind. Words deeply spoken. Your truth, sharing your truth, like just not being afraid of like this crappy energy, these false stories, this false knowledge, trying to parade around as something else, like trying to cover your eyes until you know, like your candy is fine, but no, there's unheard of levels of arsenic in the candy that we're now being revealed to. I'm sorry to keep going to that. It's like really pissed me off. So anyways, knowing where this arsenic is and not being afraid to talk about it, regardless of what the groupthink is happening, whatever groupthink is in place at the time, not being afraid to challenge the groupthink and share what you believe. Even if people perceive you as odd, but you're Aquarius energy, you're meant to do that. Just like this energy, this amethyst deceiver, I don't like it. Which it just almost feels like a false story. Make sure that you're not projecting a truth or a story just because it's what the group think is sharing or speaking. Just because other people are speaking it and saying something is real, but you know deep down this solar energy knows. Just because the group think, just because thousands of people are saying one thing, but you see it differently, either just like take a step back and listen, discover more about it. I would just advise not repeating what you know to be false. This zombie energy repeating an untrue story, this false energy to serve the purpose for something else that goes beyond you, just because it's been created. I'm thinking of like, I don't want to get into that. But groupthink. Everywhere that there's groupthink, there's stories in place. You're meant to repeat them. You're meant to spread them. That's the point of groupthink. You're meant to spread the parasite and not think for yourself, not challenge what's being said, not challenge your mind. Words deeply spoken. Challenge, just challenge. Like your knowledge, whatever this is. That's all I want to say with that. Okay, I think I've said everything that needs to be said. We're getting on to 50 minutes here. Okay, Aquarius, I hope you found some knowledge, whatever you needed to help you in your life, and I hope to see you next time.